England, and in Italy, AC and Inter Milan as well. But there's new research out today from the Association of Financial Mutuals and a backlash surrounding money-centric club owners there after the dismantling of the European Super League last week. So, fans and politicians are called for mutuality in the game, but why not in banking though? Well, here on the line right now, my guest at this time, I'm joined by the CEO of the Association of Financial Mutuals there. Martin Shaw joins me on the line right now. So, Martin, pleasure to be speaking to you on Gateway today.
Good to be speaking to you as well, Aston.
Good to be speaking to you, Martin. So, obviously, the research as well, and the Association of Financial Mutuals are calling on public to consider whether they're saving their money and if it fits with their morals there. So, why did you want to call on public to consider where they're saving their money at this difficult time that we're under here?
Well, if you look at people's views post-pandemic, they're becoming a lot more thoughtful about financial services and about lots of other things. So, for example, they're looking at the ethics of the business that they might be putting their money with. They're looking at whether or not the organization really cares for its customers, and they're looking for a better sense on whether there's a form of community and a commitment behind the business to look after the best interests of the towns and villages that they operate through. So it's a very topical sense of what matters to everybody today, which is, you know, we've survived a pandemic. We're looking forward to the future. We want to do that in a more optimistic way and in a way where we all work together as a community.
Now, especially as well, Martin, that the European Super League was the big hot topic, especially in the sports news as well, which saw club owners trying to backlash from the leagues that they're currently in, like the Premier League. You had Manchester United, Arsenal, Manchester City, Tottenham, Chelsea and Liverpool from the Premier League. La Liga, it was Atletico and Real Madrid, along with Barcelona. Italy, Juventus, AC and Inter Milan, and they all tried to merge together to create this all-European Super League, which is now seeing a dismantle of it there, and then they're going against the fans' wishes, that I understand as well.
Well, ultimately, football clubs were created during the Industrial Revolution as a way of local communities getting together, of people having the very small amounts of leisure time that they had devoted to something that they were interested in and became passionate about. And football clubs then became very tribal, and they still are today. In every town, every city, football clubs have that real sense of value to the community as well as their sporting prowess. And when you talk to the average football supporter about football, you know, money, everyone realizes is part of that, but it's not the key driver to what matters to them. Obviously, things like where they sit in the Football League are most important, how they're performing on the pitch. But increasingly over the last few years, at the top of the football leagues, we're seeing big money being poured into clubs from owners who may be based overseas and who see the opportunity to invest in the organization because it's a business and therefore because of the potential to make profit out of it. And that doesn't sit comfortably with most supporters on the terraces.
Now, Barcelona, the La Liga club in Spain, they're owned by what they call fans, and they're one of the biggest clubs in the world to have the decisions being made by its fan base there. Would you rather see clubs go down that route in future rather than have the centric owners like what Manchester City, Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain have got?
Yeah, and interestingly, Barcelona will, as you mentioned before, Aston, one of the 12 clubs to sign up to the ESL. However, before they could make a firm commitment to be involved in that, they would have had to have gone back to their supporters to ask them if they believed it was a good idea. So, in other words, in that case, and in the German football clubs, there is an opportunity for the fans to have a voice in what happens to the future success of the business and the future strategy of the club. And if the fans don't like the idea of moving into the ESL or don't like other decisions in Barcelona or in Germany, they have the capacity to stop that happening, just in the same way that mutual organisations in the UK have the capacity to vote on important decisions made by the businesses that they're a member of.
So obviously on that front there, with the as I mentioned about Barcelona, a lot of clubs in Spain go down by its fan base there. But then clubs that were bought out by owners recently, but even before owners, like Manchester United, and were successful before the Glazer family came into the football club there, and also the other team as well was Chelsea, who were on a bit of a downward spiral before Roman Abramovich came in.
Yeah, and football is really important. And, you know, if I'm honest, Aston, I'm a supporter of the mighty Mariners. And I call Grimsby Town mighty because at the moment they're propping up the entire of the remainder of the Football League. But, you know, as a small football club, there is no money there to invest in the way that the big clubs have. And everyone may be envious of all of that money. But also, if you look at how the football clubs at the top of the Premiership are being directed towards focusing on money rather than the success in the eyes of the supporters, it makes for an unhappy kind of coexistence. And supporters' rights need to be the most important element of the club. After all, today's owners may not be there in 5 or 10 years, but the supporter base is the one thing that will be a constant through any football club through all of its time. And whilst we need the money, we also need the club to continue to thrive and to represent the interests of its supporters.
Now, Martin, would you like to give out further advice to our listeners on how they can go about with their money and also go about with their savings in this difficult time?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Aston. I guess the first thing is it's all very tempting to look at the rate that's being offered by the bank or insurance company, but it's also worthwhile testing for yourself whether or not you're comfortable with the ethics of that business, whether you think that getting a top line rate on the one hand is a good thing, or whether it's more important that when you phone up with a problem that organization is there to help you. And if you've got an insurance policy, if you come to make a claim, would you rather have that with an organization that is working in your best interests and therefore much more likely to pay a claim? Or would you rather save a few pennies on the side and find that when you crash the car or have a break-in at home, you're not covered? So I think when people are making decisions about their money, it's really important to think about what kind of business you want to be attached to and whether the morals of the business fit with where you are as an individual and what you would like to see for the future of both your money and the UK.
So, Martin, if the listeners want to find out more information of what we've been discussing today, where can our listeners find out all the information?
Well, they're very welcome to have a look at our website. That's www.financialmutuals.org. And you can see lots of information there about member-owned businesses and how to become a part of them.
Well, I'd like to say there, Martin Shaw, the CEO of the Association of Financial Mutuals. Thank you for joining me on Gateway 97.8 today.
Thank you, Aston. Take care.
Martin Shaw there, the CEO of the Association of Financial Mutuals there, chatting about morals versus money, what it's seen recently as the dismantling of the European Super League last week, and there's been public backlash surrounding money-centric club owners, which were the instigation behind this so-called European Super League that started to dismantle, which saw that come into fruition at the beginning of not the weekend gone, but the weekend before, which saw 6 Premier League clubs, 3 from La Liga and 3 from Serie A to sign up to the European Super League. And what it's seen as well is that it saw some backlash from its own supporters there, those clubs that tried to sign up. But then slowly but surely, some of them clubs decided they wanted to put out. So far, 9 of them did do that, not 3 of them as of yet there. But if you want to find out more about what Martin has been discussing today, head on over to financialmutuals.org. So financialmutuals.org is where you can find all the